Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and today we're looking at the Victorinox Fieldforce. Now, before we get into the watch, let's take a quick look at the packaging. And also, I wanted to thank Saltzmans Watches for sending this over for us to check out. And they asked me if I would want to give away this watch to you guys, and of course, I agreed. So there will be information about the giveaway a little bit further along in the video here. But let's take a quick look at the packaging here. It has a outer cardboard box, which is this here, and then the inner box sits in here, and it comes with this little quick guide for setting the time on the watch. It also does have a warranty card there from Saltzmans. And here is the cardboard inner box. You see the Ghost logo on there. Hopefully you can see that, just embossed. These are the links I removed. I will put in the description a link to the video of me sizing the bracelet. I didn't quite know what I was doing, but I eventually figured it out. It's not too bad, just a pin and collar system. And there's the rest of the box there. So all this will come with the watch when one of you win this watch. Okay, let's zoom back in here. I'll just have this stuff on the table because it's same company, right? Swiss Army knife. And you'll see the counterbalance of the second hand here is a representation of one of these. I'm not sure which knife came out first, but anyway, Swiss Army knife. Okay, let's get into the watch here. So as I mentioned, this is the Victorinox Fieldforce. Model number on this is 241849. MSRP is $395. You can buy this from Saltzmans if you don't win this one. Sapphire crystal. This is not a rotating bezel, even though it looks like one. I had mixed feelings on the look of this, but it does have some utility. You can quickly look at the time. Hour hand is 11:15. And this does have the day and date. So Saturday the 18th. And as you can see on the second hand there, the counterbalance, you can see that is the outline of a Swiss Army knife. It's kind of a neat touch. And of course, you have the logo up at the top there. Very easily recognizable logo. Looks like I have some fingerprints or dust on the crystal here. So let's wipe that off real quick. So we can zoom in on the dial. It's just a plain black painted dial, but it does have applied indices. And there is Lume applied to the indices and hands. I checked out the Lume a little bit, but I haven't really looked at it that much. So we'll see together towards the end of the video how the Lume is. And this is Super Luminova. So overall, not a bad looking watch. Maybe I'll mention one of the negatives of this watch right now, and that is the bracelet. Like I said, the sizing wasn't too bad. I just didn't know what I was doing at first. I would prefer screw pins, obviously, probably even split pins, but pin and collar is not too bad. My biggest complaint about the watch is that it has a butterfly clasp. Limited micro adjust. The only micro adjust is that you have this half link, one half link, and it has a safety clasp. So sometimes I would forget about that and I would try to open just the butterfly clasp and it doesn't really open. And then this thing is pretty much impossible to try and get off. So you have to close it back up, get a fingernail under there, and now you can open the watch. Not the end of the world, but just, I don't know, it's kind of weird. So you can buy this watch on a leather strap for $350 versus $395 for this bracelet. If you did want the bracelet, you could buy it for $100, I believe I saw, for the price of that. Also, it does have, see, sometimes this is really hard to open. Also does have the quick release here on the bracelet. And as I discussed in my previous video, that is not retained in there, so it actually will slide out. Just something to be aware of, but it does work quite well. Very easily to remove the bracelet from the watch case. All right, let's go over the dimensions. The lug to lug on the watch case is 50, but as you can see, it does have these male center links, male end links in the center here. They really don't protrude out that much farther, but it does add a little bit of length here to the lug to lug. I measured that at 52.5. It does taper down pretty nicely though. You'll see it on my wrist here in a little bit. Case diameter 42. The thickness is nice and thin at 10 millimeter. One advantage of a quartz watch. And the lug width, I measured this quite a few times just to verify. I'm measuring this lug width at 21 millimeter. Yeah, I know, 21. It should make it either 20 or 22. But anyway, it does taper down to 18 millimeter. This watch does wear comfortably on wrist. I've tried not to wear it too much since we're giving this watch away here. Oh, another thing. On the Victorinox website, it gives you some of the measurements in inches. I think the thickness was 0.4 inches. I don't remember exactly because I used my caliper to measure everything. But the lug width it gave me was 0.8 inches. And multiply by 25.4, I get around 20.35 millimeter. But when I measured it with the calipers, I was getting 20.7. Actually, I was measuring the width of the bracelet, which is typically thinner than the lugs. And I was measuring between the lugs right at 21. So, yeah. As you can tell, it does have a quartz movement. And if you've been paying attention, I think you'll see that that second hand pretty much hits every mark. Really pretty impressive for $400. I typically don't pay too much attention to that second hand hitting all the marks. I usually wear an automatic mechanical watch or a digital watch, such as G-Shock, for example. Yeah, I still haven't fixed that bracelet. Been wearing this one instead. So, anyway, let me see if I can find. I don't know where I put my SKX. Oh, here we go. Just for a size comparison, these both do have a 42 millimeter case, but the SKX looks a little smaller to me. The SKX is among my favorite watches, so I like to compare this to other watches. I think a lot of people have an SKX or they've seen one, so it's good for comparison's sake. We'll use this for a Lume comparison as well towards the end of the video. So this is 100 meter water resistant. It is a push-pull crown. Spinning it in this position doesn't do anything. This position be your day and date, which I'll change back to the 18th. It's kind of a weird sensation here because with an automatic watch or a mechanical watch, you can feel that date wheel clicking over. I kind of do feel it with this, but not as pronounced. And then pulling it all the way out, the second hand will stop hacking, and then we can set the time in this position. Let's take a quick look at the case back. It's a plain case back with some engraving on the back here. Victorinox Swiss Army. What does it say? Stainless steel, sapphire crystal. It's Swiss made, 100 meter water resistant. So yes, it does have a sapphire crystal, and it does say on the website that it is triple coated with an AR coating. Okay, let's get this watch on wrist, and then we'll talk about the giveaway. And we'll look at the Lume at the end of the video here. So here it is on my 6.5-inch wrist with a 52mm wristband. So technically these lugs would be about the same width as my wrist. Doesn't look like that. Doesn't look like that through the camera, but it does by eye. Actually, when we zoom out, you should be able to see that. So let me know what you guys think of this watch. Are you a fan of Victorinox watches? I've never actually owned a Victorinox watch before. I've had a kind of a similar watch. I don't know if it's an off-brand or what, but it's a brand called Wenger. And they have a similar looking logo too. I think it's like a rectangle with a plus sign in it. So I'm not sure if there's some kind of history between Wenger and Victorinox, but anyway. Okay, let's zoom out. I think it's a little bit big for my wrist. I don't know, maybe it's because the bezel's the same color as the dial. It just looks very large on my wrist. So anyway, as far as the giveaway, as I mentioned, Saltzmans sent this in, and they asked if I could give away the watch. So rules for the giveaway: please leave a comment below. Let me know. Let me know what you think of the watch. Let me know what I can do to improve the channel here. Also, please go follow me on Instagram, and I'll also leave a link to Saltzman. You can go follow them on Instagram. And be a subscriber. So that's it. Subscribe, leave a comment, and follow both of us on Instagram. So, pretty simple giveaway. If you're outside of the US, then if you can help with the shipping, then you can have the watch. If not, then I'll pay for shipping within the US, but outside the US, it gets kind of crazy. So we can talk. I'll figure out what the shipping is if you want the watch, and we'll go from there. So with all that said, let's pause the video, and I'll come right back with the Lume. All right, so the Victorinox is obviously on the left, the Victorinox Fieldforce, and on the right, the Seiko SKX009. And one thing I forgot to mention in the previous portion of the video here is the 3 o'clock on the Victorinox. It's a little strange with that triangle. I'm not exactly sure what that indicates. I think I would have preferred to see a like a 3 that's cut out for the date, but the little triangle works too. And as you can see, the Lume is pretty decent. Actually, the Lume on the hands is better than the Lume on the SKX, but the Arabics are dying out pretty quickly here. So overall, really not much to complain about with the Lume. Also, that Lume logo at 12 o'clock is pretty cool as well. We'll let it run for a little bit longer here, but as always, thank you for the time. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.